This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Madhumalti, this plant right here, it's a fast growing, easy to grow plant. As a creeper, this plant requires some structure or trellis for support to spread its vines. So you will see here I'm using an old stand that I had, which I'm trying to now use to train this plant to climb up. This plant, by the way, not only the leaves change color, but also the flowers change color. So you would see shades of red, pink and white. And as they mature actually, then they turn reddish, dark reddish in color. And that's why Madhumalti, I think, is a great decorative ornamental plant. For caring of this plant, sunlight is really important. It can tolerate shade, but to get best out of this plant, you have to ensure it gets full sunlight falling on it. And as for the temperature, it should be somewhere between 20 to even 40 degrees would do, but probably somewhere in late 30s, higher 30s is preferable for this plant. If the temperature goes beyond that or below 20 to 30, then you would see that the leaves have started to drop. In cold regions, Madhumalti may shed all the leaves as well. So in winter season, you cannot expect this plant to be flowering. I think in winters, your task should be only just to sustain this plant so that when the spring comes, it will start to blossom, start to bloom like it's doing right now. In Asia specifically, it requires high humidity and it does very well. The humidity is when on the higher side. This is a 2-month update on the Madhumalti. This has been the growth of the plant post monsoon. You would see that earlier the plant was flowering and now the green leaf growth is really good. This has been about 2 months growth since the monsoon has started. So what monsoon significantly helps with is the leaf growth of the plant, and the flowering will happen in the summers. At the base, it's not too heavy, but now that it has gotten some vertical support, it has really done well on the top. I might trim it soon. As for soil and fertilizer, Madhumalti does well in wide range of soil mixes. Actually, you don't have to worry so much about the soil for this plant. Any kind of soil that you have access to, just add fertilizer before spring. Madhumalti also does not require a lot of fertilizer. So once in a year before spring is when I add fertilizer, vermicompost or compost that you have access to just before spring, because spring is the blooming period. However, do not use a very high nitrogen based fertilizer, because then what will happen, leaves will come out beautifully but the plant will not flower, and for that you should add a fertilizer which has more of phosphorus. Madhumalti also blooms throughout the spring and also sometimes throughout the summer. For you, if it is not blooming in summers, it's completely okay, because in every region within our country, the temperature and humidity combination changes with season. When it comes to watering, you can water it frequently every day. So for example, here, because it's kept outside and there's direct sun falling on it, for most of the day, there will be about 4 to 6 hours of direct sun. So that also means it will lose water very quickly. So we have to add water early morning every day to this plant. As for pruning, that's also a very important part of maintaining this plant. So just before spring or early spring, that's January, February, you can give a deep prune to this plant. That means you can remove all the side branches and keep the main branch. In another month or so, it'll do really well. Now for propagation, Madhumalti can be propagated through stem cutting. So you can use a cutting of 15 to 20 centimeter, trim from the lower leaf and then dip it in rooting hormone. These plants for propagation do really well in rooting hormone. That's what they require to develop roots. And then you put that in soil and you would have roots coming out and then new leaves also coming out of that plant, and then you can put it in a bigger pot. Here I have this plant in about 14-inch deep pot and it's doing beautifully. Now there are not many problems that you would face with this plant, but generally I've seen insects like aphids, scales, caterpillars attack it. The simple solution is add soap solution. I've done an extensive detailed video on that. Here, because you would see that the leaves are so close to each other, there is a higher chance it is more vulnerable to insects. So therefore use any kind of neem oil spray or soap solution for that. Apart from that, if there's no flowering, in that case you could just wait for the spring and add a good fertilizer, phosphorus based fertilizer. I hope this video helps. We have done similar videos on gardening basics with different kinds of plants. So in every video we try to talk about specific common plant that you see around your place, the ones that are very popular. So I hope you enjoy those videos as well. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you very soon. Now I want to introduce you to Squarespace. It is a wonderful platform to start your own website. It allows you to connect with your audience or your followers very easily. In fact, you can also generate revenue through gated members only content. Squarespace helps you to create a community on your website because people can like, comment and even reply. Go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to publish, go to squarespace.com/gardenup to avail 10% off your first purchase of domain or website.